How mysterious is this plan of God, that the blood of Christ would take away my sin. This doxology expresses the absolute difference between a finite man and an infinite God. It is the final statement in the doctrinal part of the epistle, in which Paul has taught that salvation is totally independent of man and is entirely dependent on God. And this is what caused him to say, this former Pharisee, oh, the depth of this plan. Oh, the mystery of God's grace. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and the knowledge of God. God's plan is rich beyond measure. The sacrifice of Jesus Christ, far more valuable than all the creation, all the angels, all the archangels, all the worlds, all the stars, all the men, all the animals, everything put together cannot even begin to come up to the value of that one sacrifice. The wisdom and the knowledge of God defies description. It is unfathomable. It cannot be searched out. Even the most brilliant men cannot do this. If you took an Albert Einstein and a Stephen Hawking and give them 1,000,000 lifetimes, they would not even begin to scratch the surface. They would be like men wearing snorkel masks, trying to peer down into the depths of the Marianas Trench. Can't do it. His ways are past finding out. What happened to a country that was, up until maybe less than a century ago, considered the cradle of modern world missions? I tell you what happened, is the British people have forgotten God. They were the most biblically literate people in the world. And one story illustrates it, and some of you know it because I've taught it before. It's the evacuation of the British Army from Dunkirk in 1940. 350,000 British troops, Allied troops too, but mostly British, were trapped by the Germans. The Royal Navy was trying to evacuate them. They'd taken off about 30,000, but the Germans were bombing all the time, and the harbour was completely choked with ships. They couldn't get any more in, and it looked like the whole army was going to be lost. It was desperate. The beleaguered army sent a 3-word message to the British people across the Channel, and it was this: but if not. But if not. The British people knew their Bibles, and they knew it referred to Daniel and his friends, who chose death rather than worship the golden image. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the fiery furnace. He will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you that we are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image. In a matter of hours, thousands of boats of every description, little tiny fishing boats. Some people even rowed across the English Channel to rescue troops, and they got them all off. It was called the Miracle of Dunkirk, and it was a miracle only because the British people knew their Bibles. They knew God. If such a message was transmitted today in a similar crisis, it would make no sense to 95, 96, maybe 99% of the British people. They have forgotten God. Or they have a mental image of God that bears no resemblance to the God of the Bible. The American people are in danger of moving in the same direction, and are indeed doing so.